Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me, and once again, welcome back to another double movie review, aka After I Saw. This one is going to be really weird because my first review is for Terrifier 2, a movie that I am extremely late on reviewing. It came out last month, but I didn't really have that much time to see it because there really wasn't that many showtimes. It was only playing during the nighttime, and when we thought, because it didn't have that many showtimes when it was going to leave the theater, it actually got more showtimes way later down the line. So now is my opportunity to see it when there really wasn't any point. But a lot of people were talking about it, saying it's the goriest movie they've ever seen, and it's really traumatized them. It's the scariest thing ever. I feel like that's a little too much, because it really isn't that scary, nor is it the goriest movie I've ever seen. But Terrifier 2, I still want to talk about. I never watched Terrifier 1, but Terrifier 2 did get more positive reviews than the first movie. So yeah, in this film we follow two siblings. One's named Sienna, and it focuses a lot on her, who lost her father. And of course, Art the Clown, who was defeated in the last movie, he is back and is coming to haunt these two children. From there, they have a very, very crazy mother who is just a complete, I don't even know how to put it, but she's not that good of a mother. But yeah, we see Art as he brutally murders random people while also trying to target these two characters. Now, yes, this movie is very disturbing. It is not for the easily traumatized. This movie might traumatize a lot of viewers if you're not into huge amounts of gore, because it is very violent. One of the most violent movies I've seen in terms of horror. Sorry, my nectar boy sneezing. My nectar boy's a little sick. Yeah, okay, nectar boy. I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's the goriest film ever made. Now look, there are definitely some moments that definitely made me go, ugh, a little bit. But it's not one of those movies where it's just gonna stay in my head and I'm not gonna want to eat anything ever again. But, of course, if you have a very weak stomach, and I recommend going this on a very empty stomach. But I will say, this movie is very, 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 very well made, especially for a very low budget. And in terms of Art the Clown being one of the most scariest movie clowns of all time in recent memory, I definitely feel like he earns that title. He is very creepy. I love how he has no lines of dialogue whatsoever. He basically just acts throughout in a very silly type of way. And there's also like this little girl who isn't really there. It's just, I don't know if it was something in the first movie, but I guess it's like his daughter. Well, not really, but they don't really say. There was just a little girl who's sort of like his sidekick or something. In terms of characters, I actually like the protagonist of the movie, Sienna. She was actually really good. Surprisingly, this movie has really solid performances, and it's a movie that's crafted very well to make it worth a watch. The movie does go for a bit more of a serious route, though sometimes it doesn't go fully serious. Sometimes it just goes for a completely silly one, so it's serious and silly at the same time, but it mostly does its best to try to really freak you out. Now, it's not really that scary. It's more violent than it is scary. If you're really in for like a very brutal, violent time, then chances are you might enjoy this movie. Though I really don't understand why this movie has to be 2 hours and 18 minutes long, because that is just way too long for a movie like this. The first movie was 1 hour and 22 minutes. So the fact that they just boosted up the length, I felt like was completely unnecessary. But I'm not going to lie, the movie wasn't boring. Like, there wasn't a time where scenes dragged on way too much. Though there definitely could have been some scenes that could have shaved off a few seconds or so. But hey, the movie is still very well made, and it's still entertaining enough for it to be worth a watch. Terrifier 2 isn't going to be like a new horror classic or anything like that. But if you expect a very violent, disturbing time with a very likable villain, then chances are you're really going to enjoy this one. And in terms of horror movie sequels, this is definitely one to watch. And even if you haven't seen the first one like me, I don't really, not many people say that watching the first movie is necessary. I may want to watch the first movie, but I'll probably wait till much later because like I mentioned before, didn't get that many rave reviews, but a lot of people have been talking about this one, so I decided to give it a watch, and I could definitely see where they were going, where they were saying it was just so insanely violent and sometimes even unwatchable, but it really wasn't that bad for my viewing. Probably because I'm used to this kind of stuff, but yeah. I may be reviewing this movie at the worst possible time, but just in case you guys want to hear my thoughts on it, I think it's really, really entertaining, and I had myself a really good time watching this in a theater before it had to leave. So, yeah, I could definitely see why people would say that this film is way too disturbing, but I guess that's really the point. It's certainly a fun watch. Now, the second movie that I'm doing a review, aka after I saw on, is a movie that's actually on Apple TV Plus, and it's a Christmas movie. It's called Spirited. Now, okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I had no idea that this movie was coming out. I didn't even hear about this movie. In fact, I didn't even know that I was going to watch it. Why do I say this? Because this was part of a Mystery Movie Monday that Regal has been doing. They did it before and they did it again. I honestly came in because I thought I was going to see Spielberg's newest film, The Fabelmans, because I saw its runtime and had the exact same rating and runtime, so I got my hopes up too high and expected The Fabelmans. But when I saw it was this, I was like, okay. I was kind of disappointed, which is why my experience for this movie really wasn't. I wasn't that excited when I was watching the movie, but I can't say that this film was bad. It's basically a Christmas Carol parody with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and it's not a bad film. I can't really say that this is a new Christmas classic or anything like that. All I can say is that I appreciate what they were trying to do here. Will Ferrell is a spirit that used to be human but died 2 centuries ago, and Ryan Reynolds is, of course, the Scrooge of the movie. Though he doesn't really act much like a Scrooge, he just acts sort of like a guy with all the power, and his niece is going up for class president or something while there's this really nice guy who's going up against him, and she's going to post something very, very bad and causing something bad to happen to the boys, so basically a lying trend, pretty much. So I kind of like what they were doing there, basically poking fun out of the Christmas Carol genre. Also, it's a musical, and there is quite a bit of music. And it does poke a bit of fun of the musical genre, though I will admit, I didn't really like most of the songs. I didn't feel many of them were that memorable. I guess the most entertaining one would have to be this one where they sing this song where they assume that in the old times, the term good afternoon was an insult, and they make a song of that. That was probably the funniest part of the entire movie, and there were some chuckle-worthy moments here and there. They even have a reference to Elf, which Will Ferrell kind of makes fun of his own character a little bit. But yeah, the movie does a decent enough job poking fun at all the Christmas Carol adaptations that we get, when they're pretty much the exact same thing. But hey, there are tons of great Christmas Carol adaptations out there, like the Disney one with Scrooge McDuck, the Muppet Christmas Carol, and the Robert Zemeckis CGI film wasn't that bad in my opinion. It didn't need to go completely in the creepy route, but it wasn't a bad one. But I definitely feel like the 50s one is definitely the better version, the best version out of all of them. But yeah, it's not really specifically a Christmas Carol movie. It's just one that makes fun of it in kind of an kind of way. It's one of those movies where I was all like, okay, that wasn't too bad. I mean, performances were fine enough. Will Ferrell, even Octavia Spencer's in the movie. She's pretty good, but I don't really feel like it was really necessary to give her and Will Ferrell a romance in the movie, because I don't know, it kind of felt like filler, because this movie is like 2 hours long, really doesn't need to be over 2 hours long. But I know I've been pretty negative about this movie, but it was fun enough. Like, the movie wasn't boring. It does try its best to fully poke fun of the Christmas Carol and musical genre in the best possible way it can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's kind of a mixed bag for me. A mixed bag that I kind of enjoyed, but at the same time don't really feel like it's that memorable. it's not a new Christmas classic or anything like that. And honestly, with a title like Spirited, there's only one movie I think of when I hear the word Spirited, and that's Spirited Away. So, yeah, but hey, there are a lot of movies out there that have some really lazy titles that still manage to be pretty good. Pig with Nicolas Cage, Lamb, which came out the same year. Yeah, I feel like movies nowadays are kind of getting lazy with their titles a little bit. That's just my opinion. It just, I don't know. It's really hard. In my opinion, nowadays it's hard to make a movie with a really good title. So, but hey, I didn't hate this one. It's decent enough, and I'm kind of glad that I did see it in a theater and didn't have to watch it at home because it was kind of fun seeing this on the big screen. But yeah, for the people who want to watch at home, you can give it a watch. Some audiences are really enjoying it. Critics are kind of mixed. I'm kind of mixed as well, but I can't say it's a bad film. It's decent enough. So yeah, I just reviewed a Halloween film and a Christmas film at the exact same time. I'm reviewing a movie late after Halloween and early before Christmas, so there you go. Yeah, more videos coming up soon, so of course I mentioned so many reviews are on my plate, so yeah. And of course, more game reviews. God of War Ragnarok, I mentioned this so many times. I will be getting to that soon. I am playing it and still having a really fun time with it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.